ठीक है, सो स्टार्ट करें।
Yes, sir.
हाय अभिषेक, हाउ आर यू?
I'm good, sir.
प्लीज रन मी थ्रू योर सीवी।
Sir, thank you for giving me opportunity for the for interview. My name is Abhishek Tambi, and I'm सर मैं दोबारा से स्टार्ट करता हूँ. My name is Abhishek Tambi. I'm born and brought up in Jaipur, and my all the academic and professional education was done from Jaipur. And I have 4 years of experience, in which 3 years of my articleship, which in which I have a exposure of auditing, tax advisory, management consultancy in the different sectors, including real estate, jewelry manufacturing and trading companies, textile companies, and healthcare sectors. And after that, after completion of my articleship, I have joined a unicorn startup, which named Dealshare, where my major roles and responsibilities are review their banking processes and managing their treasury and forecasting of their liquidity and cash flow presentation and management. And I'm also at the part of due diligence team for the 2 rounds. For the fundraising, and at there I'm also a part of operational compliance management team, where my role is to manage their compliance relating to registrations of different acts like shop and establishment act or GST act, and professional tax act and different acts which are required for warehouse or for office to operate. So this is my uh, professional journey.
Tell me about your family as well. Who all are there in
Uh,
your family?
okay, so my father is a businessman, and we have a business of crockery items. And my mother is a homemaker. We are 4 siblings. I'm the younger one, and three are my elder sisters, and out of them, two are married.
So, since you are the only son and your father has a business, so is there not a chance that you will leave the job and join your father's firm?
No, sir, as the business is in partnership with my uncle.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
currently, there is no as such uh, thought regarding to join the existing business.
Well, fine, even if it is in your if even if the business is a joint family set business, then also you can join the organization, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Because,
fine.
and I also told them that I have as I am a recently qualified chartered accountant, so I am pursue more in my what I have learned in my articleship and my job. So to know more about the industry, to explore the opportunities in the finance market or either in the auditing market. So that's why I'm currently keen to do to job.
Okay, great. So may I have your CV, please? CV forward कर देंगे. Okay, so I can see few terms here: cash flow statement, liquidity planning, working capital analysis. Great. Okay, so what do you feel? Let's say if uh, the net profit is lower than EBITDA. My first question to you is this sort of a situation possible? Number one. Secondly, if it is possible, what could be the probable reasons?
If a net profit is lower than EBITDA.
Hmm.
Sir, as EBITDA full form is earning before interest and depreciation and amortization.
Oh, I'm
So,
really sorry. Sorry, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. Net profit is, I asked you, net profit is less than EBITDA, right?
yes,
Net profit is more than EBITDA. The question
yes, sir.
is, the net profit is more than EBITDA.
And what can be the possible reasons?
Yes.
Sir, if it is a, loss-making company, then the EBITDA which was showing in the P&L will be less from the net profit because the net profit comes after the deduction of tax. So in the EBITDA, I will deduct the tax. I will get the tax benefit. So in that case, net profit can be higher than EBITDA.
But it is not net profit then in that case, and there won't be any EBITDA. It will be net loss and and no EBITDA at all probably. Right? And assuming that okay, that's the situation, what else? What could be further reasons for that?
So for further reasons.
Take your time, think.
Sir, currently I'm not getting the solution for this. I'll go back and check for that.
Okay, fine. So are concepts like EBITDA and NOPAT similar? And in case if they are not similar, what are the probable differences? How are two different from each other? NOPAT, net operating profit after tax, and uh, EBITDA.
And how these both can be similar.
No, how are they different?
Uh, Sir, as uh, no pat is calculated after the EBIT, sir, because NOPAT is calculated after tax, which are EBITDA. Then for with the EBITDA, we deduct the tax implications. Then we get the NOPAT. So that's why it is different. And the substitution is
No, I'm asking, are these two concepts similar? Are these, terms similar? Shall we call EBITDA as net operating profit before tax? Can we call that way?
yes, sir.
Are these concepts same or are they different? Is the question.
Yes, sir. They are same.
They're same. Are you sure?
Yes, sir. As net profit, as you said, yeah, net profit before tax, then the EBITDA is also same because if we are calculating net profit after tax, then EBITDA we reduce the tax implications. So, and then after we receive the NOPAT. So that's why we can say if the NOPAT, if you are saying in net profit before net operating profit before tax, then EBITDA and NOPAT will be same.
Okay, fine, good. So assume that there is a company which is actually evaluating its, cost of capital, and they're asking you in the long run which would be, and you are hired as a consultant in that particular firm. So they're asking you which would be, the costliest source of fund. Will it be cost of equity or will it be cost of debt?
Sir, in the long term, the cost of equity will be higher. The expensive cost for us, and for the short term, the cost of and the debt and the cost of debt will be cheaper for us. As because for the equity, the equity holders are takes more risk in the company as they are only dependent on over the company growth and their profits and also the total performance of the company. So that's why they are heavy risk, and in that case they don't take as such a more risk. So that's why the equity is expensive. the cost of capital for the equity will be expensive.
Okay, fine. Any other reason why cost of equity is or cost of debt is cheaper? Any other reason that you can think of?
Yes, sir. As on cost of as the cost of debt over the cost of debt, we can get the benefit of taxation. So in
Okay,
that case,
good.
our profit is also shown better because as we have to pay less tax over
Hmm.
that, and our cash flow is also performing well in that case. So in that case, we can say the cost of debt is cheaper and more.
Okay, fine, great. Okay, it seems that you have done financial modeling as well. And what is free cash flow?
The free cash flow is the cash flow. We calculate it as what will be the future or the expected future cash flows of the company. We calculate this by adjusting the depreciation in the net profit and any uh, any changes in the any changes in working capital and changes in fixed asset. Uh, so by this we calculate the free cash flows, and free cash flows are pretending the future of the future cash flows of the company.
I mean, in a layman terms, how will you explain this term, future cash flows?
So in the layman term, I'll say कि future cash flow is the cash flow. If I'm investing in a project, what will be my inflows from that project? Like if I'm investing today 1 lakh rupees, and after 3 years or after or to the cumulative 3 years, what will be my on each and every year, and what will be my cash inflows? So the inflows of which I am pretending or calculating is the free cash flows for the particular project or for the entity.
Okay, great. So, which company do you feel is a better company to invest in? A company which is a leveraged company or a company without debt?
Sir, as a company with a leverage, uh, who has a leverage, who has a debt, but the debt should be in proportion to the industry terms, or it should be and not too much, because as we if we have a too much leverage, then our cash flow can be affect negatively. So in that case, I'll say company who has a leverage, their equity shares will perform better, their shareholders can get the better returns, and the company can also get the better net profits.
But let's assume that the company is not earning at all. In that case, is a leveraged company
Uh,
better than a non-leveraged company?
if a company is not earning,
Is it, I mean, you said that it depends on the capital structure,
yes,
right?
sir.
So is that the only criteria, or there can be other criteria as well?
uh, there can be other criteria also, as a company, what will be the company's future goals, and is a company is taking in future, is the company also taking to get more loans, or either company want to or how and what will be the term of that existing loans, that in which term they have to repay. If a company is taking more loans, and if a company is not performing well, company's market is the market share and the sales are decreasing rapidly, and from the consecutive years, then then the then the loan we have already taken, it will be a negative impact on the cash flows, because in the near future we have to repay them, and if we take more loans, then and the company not working well, so in that also we can have a huge shortfall of cash.
Okay,
So it
fine.
depends on company's performance, how it is performing. On that basis, we can take decision. Okay, how should we, on how much we have to invest in that company.
Okay, fine. So let's say there is a company which is splitting its shares, right? What would be its impact on cash flow statement?
If a company is splitting his shares, then there will be no impact on the cash flows, as because the denomination of the shares will change but the total number of the shares and total amount of the share will not change. And from this transaction, we are not receiving any cash, or not, or either we are not paying any cash in the transaction. So the cash flow will not affect in this case.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, fine, great. So, are you well versed with indices?
Yes, sir. In the CA curriculum, I have learned about the index.
Okay. So, can you just explain the concept? Let's say, okay, let me ask a question to you. Assume that there is a contract, but that contract is not in writing, and we have already given a particular asset to someone on rent. So there is a rent agreement which has to be signed, but it has not been signed. I mean, this particular deal happened on 28th of March. Until 31st of March, we do not have any contract at all. The other person, okay, let's say we are taking that particular asset on lease from someone, on rent from someone else. We have already paid advance amount to the other party. There is no contract in writing. We have received the asset. The asset is with us. Will you account for this particular amount? And we are paying, let's say X amount as, rental for for using that particular good on 31st of March. Will you consider this as, will you treat this particular transaction as per India's 116?
Uh, yes, sir. As in net versions is, as there is a condition which was the definition is that the lease definition is that there should be a contract between the lessor and lessee for
Hmm.
the exchange of in exchange of any asset they are receiving
Hmm.
any monetary amount. So
Hmm.
the definition of contract is defined by the Indian Contract Act, and which says the contract can be in oral or in writing. So
Hmm.
as on 31st March, or either the reporting date, we have not done any contract, but we
Hmm.
have oral contract, and we have received the asset, or we have paid some amount. So this is a valid lease agreement. So
Hmm.
so in that case, we will recognize as per India's 116, as India 116 approve these transactions.
Okay, good. So, one more question, which is not from FR but a different question. Assume that the company does not have any borrowings. There are no borrowings. It's a completely equity-driven company. And so, what would be what would be the rate at which you are going to discount its different line items in the balance sheet? What sort of discount rate can you take in that case if the company doesn't
Uh,
have any borrowings?
if company don't have any borrowings, what rate I will take for
For
discounted?
discounting lease transactions, for discounting, for while accounting for revenue, for showing, fair value of assets and liabilities at the end of the period.
Uh, Sir, in that case, I'll see what will be the company implicit rate of returns, as
Hmm.
and on what interest rate, or on what was the rate on which company is earning. Like here, this can be any, if a company has invested in any project, and what will be the rate, or what will be the return he was receiving from that investment. We can take that
Hmm.
rate, or either
Hmm.
the interest rate which are also trending in the market with the similar entities, which
Hmm.
also have don't which also don't have any debt,
Hmm. Hmm.
and what will be and on what basis, on what rate they are discounting, so we can
Hmm.
also take a fair rate.
Hmm. Okay, fine, good. So, what's the difference between contract assets and debtors?
As a contract asset is when we have when we are delivering any goods or transferring any goods in the in terms of sales, then first of all we book contract asset, because sometime in a contract there can be any subsequent or any embedded contract which requires any performance obligation to be settled in near future. So in that case, we will distribute only the revenue part of that of that particular period, about that particular transaction which was performed, uh, we will transfer only that amount to the debtors account, and the remaining amount will be held as a contract asset.
So is contract asset a notional amount or is it a real amount?
Sir, it is a real amount.
It's a real amount. It's not a notional amount.
Yes, sir.
It is not an estimation, that means.
Uh, no, sir. The contract asset is not an estimation. As if there is any subsequent contract, then we will calculate the contract liability. So in that case, the contract liability will be the estimation of our any subsequent performance obligation.
Okay. I think you should go back and check this concept again. Uh, the concept of contract assets. Uh, what are the recent changes in Schedule 3 disclosures? Can you guide me through, or can you run me through any three or four which are important ones?
Sir, as a first, it is in data schedules, where their aging is now more elaborated, where the aging is in 3 to 6 months, 6 to 12 months, and then more than 1 year. And that same aging is also done in the accounts payable. That means creditors also, for that also. And
Hmm. Okay, that's one for debtors. What about other changes?
So currently, I'm not recording the other updates, and I'll go back and check that.
Okay, fine. So tell me few clauses, or any clause that has been excluded from Caro 2020 which was existing in Caro 2016,
Which was excluded.
which is excluded now, but it was there in Caro 16.
Sir, right now I'm not recording these clauses, so I'll check them. But I know what are the clauses which are added in the Caro 2020. Uh,
No, I really don't want to know that. I just want to know the clauses which have been excluded.
uh, right now I'm not recording. I'll go back
Okay,
and check.
fine. No problem. No problem. So what is the concept of offsetting?
Um, Offsetting is
Offsetting.
a term, yes, sir. Offsetting is a term which is used when there is a liability, or there is any asset also from a same from department, or from a same entity. In that case, if there is any uh, uh, if there is any same liability, and if there is a liability or asset for a same entity or from same department, so there is a clause which says we can offset the any liability or asset, which says if we are legally enforceable to offset the certain liabilities by the law, and our intention is also to offset them. Only in that case we can offset our liabilities and assets. Until if the condition is not met out, then we cannot offset them.
So can you give any two examples of offsetting?
So the first of all is the deferred asset and the deferred liabilities, as
Hmm.
it is only pertaining to the same department. So in that case, we can offset, and when we are consolidating the financial statement of a group companies. So in that case, let's say if a holding is giving a loan to the its subsidiaries, and in that case, subsidiary having a liabilities, and the holding have a asset. So if we are consolidating them, then we can also eliminate or offset the asset and liabilities. The effect will be zero on the consolidated balance sheet in that case.
Hmm. So you have mentioned that you were handling a portfolio of 1850 crores and presented income of more than rupees 20 crores. Can you explain what was this?
So as a Dilshare is a startup company, we received funding from in four different rounds, and when as and when we receive the amount, so we have to invest in secure funds. So so that the amount which are we have invested, it is around it is more than 100 crore, 1800 crore rupees, and we have invested in the different types of different types of funds like the one is debt mutual funds, the another one the bonds, and the another one is FDs. So these are the areas where we invested that money, and our sole purpose is to get the maximum return without any devaluing the investment value. Uh, our investment
Okay.
should be safe in the market. Our
And what is this 20
main
crores?
motive.
What is this 20 crores? What amount is this?
So 20 crore is an amount from the portfolio we have redeemed. That means if we have redeemed a certain amount of funds or an investment in during the whole year or during the 14 months. So how much we have realized or how much we have account for in the books of account. So that was the amount of 20 crore rupees. It was the net profit. I can say it was the net profit from the
Okay, basically it's
investment.
basically a notional return
Uh, yes, sir.
or actual return or
It's
realized
a
return.
yes, sir. It's a cumulative of both. A cumulative of all. It's
Okay,
notional and realistic both.
both. Okay, great, nice. So what do you understand since you worked in treasury? So what do you understand by interest rate swap and why it happens?
As the interest rate swap is the transaction, it occurs when uh, if a two buyers or who are willing to get a loan or either to getting something in returns, and they are not getting as per their interest. So in that case, if I'm taking an example, like I'm Indian and I need a loan. As I have to pay debt in the US, which I've taken from the US. So I want a loan from the Indian company or either from company and in the US dollar, in the US rates. But in as I am in India, so I'm only getting the rupee interest bearing loans. And there may be another party who has
No, no,
and
it's not for you. I am feeling the pain.
Okay, so there may be another party who has an interest in the in rupee interest bearing loan, and he wants a rupee interest bearing loan, and he has an dollar interest bearing loan. So in that case, we swap each other. We will enter in a contract where we will exchange our returns and offset on the reporting that what will be the difference in the dollar interest rate and the rupee interest rate. In that case, from that transition, we can meet out our external exposure or the external foreign exchange risk from that transactions. So usually this kind of transaction done by the heavy high net worth investments banks or either the heavy or the companies which have a heavy amount of loan in the other foreign currencies.
Okay, so let's say if I enter into a transaction with, let's say I have a euro, I've taken loans in, euro as a denomination from European bank, and I'm paying interest in euros. And there is some other European company which has taken loan in Indian INR, and they are bearing, interest cost in INR. So in this case, I mean, why would a company who has taken loan in INR would exchange it with, you know, with someone who has taken loan in euro because that particular company or bank will be getting a lot of benefit out of foreign exchange transaction. As far as euro and rupee exchange rate is concerned, I think euro is far ahead and quite appreciated. If we compare that amount to the rupee value, why would they enter into such a transaction?
They can enter in this kind of transaction because if a company need to invest in India and he needs an or and he then that the company need to invest in India in rupee in a rupee currency. So in that case, he cannot invest in the euro, and he have to come with the currency exchange. When he will convert the amount, then they can face the currency exposure. So in that case, whatever amount they were trying to invest from the currency exposure, they can get the negative or can get the loss in that case. So to save ourselves or to hedge ourselves from that risk, so that's why they enter in this kind of transactions.
Okay, fine, fine. So as you said that you also in those 1850 crore rupees, you you help the client or you help your company in while you help your company in investing in bonds. So what is the difference
Yes.
between yield and interest?
Okay, sir, interest is a rate which is on a par value. First of all, on a par value, the interest rate is on par value, but the yield is on what amount we have purchased. And as far it is, if a bond is trading on the market, then there should be already an element of interest from that. There will be dirty price or the price which is far more than par value of that bond. So in that case, the yield will be the actual return for the company who is buying or investing on a particular date. And in terms of yield, if I define the yield is a return one and from date to the date when we will realize that asset. The what will be the return we will get is the complete amount of yield. The yield represents the complete what I will get in the
Can you
after
give some
purchasing the
example? Can you give some example? Can you explain this with a help of example?
sir, as I'm taking the SBI loan, SBI bonds as a perpetual bonds in which they are quoting the interest rate of 8.35% and per annum. So when the company has issued, the SBI has issued the bond. So from that date to the reporting date or to the next open date for over the 1 year, the interest rate will be 8.35%. Over the year, he will pay 8.35%. But if I am purchasing the asset or purchasing or investing in the bond in the middle of the year, so for sure I will not get the 8.35% or 8 more. So when I will invest that in that fund and or on that from that date to the date when it will realize. So what amount I will get, what benefit, what interest I will get is the yield, is the total or annual yield of that project. So that's why there is a difference. The interest rate is calculated on par, and yield is calculated on the market price or the dirty price. So this is also a difference.
Market price, but in case of bonds, I think the market price always remains the same. It does not fluctuate.
Uh, no, sir.
Or does it?
As far as yes, sir, it is fluctuates as because from every day getting more closer to the its redemption date or its coupon date. So every day whenever a person hold its investment, he will charge the interest of that particular. So in that case, the interest, the market it will be getting higher and higher every day on every day, and on a date when it will redeem, the value will become closer to the par value. At what
Okay,
amount the amount will be redeemed.
fine. So where do you see yourself 5 years down the line, Abhishek?
Mm, So in the next 5 years, I see myself in a managerial position where I'm dealing with the senior managers of the company and giving my inputs to the growth of the company and managing the teams and taking multiple projects of the company and trying to achieve them on a timely basis and giving much benefits as a company expecting from me. So trying to give that kind of returns and the growth as company requires.
Okay. And any personal goals?
So in personal goals, I'm seeing myself to be first of all in the financial independent, and then as always I have a interest to teach people. So in that case, I'll open an NGO or part of an NGO in which I'll take my personal time and to teach the to the persons who are not able to get the education or to can get the house or either the livelihood. So in that case, I'll part of that NGO or a team where we can improve their lives and their education.
What's your biggest strength?
Uh, so my biggest strength learning attitude. As After completion of my articleship, I have joined a unicorn startup. So I'm not stop myself to the articleship only. After articleship, I've joined only for the learning because I don't want to stop any learning in throughout the career. So learning is very important. So the first is learning attitude. The second is the time management. As In the deal share or in the articleship, we have to work in the office, and then we have to study for the exams also. So in that case, and also our personal life is also at there. So to manage the all the things simultaneously. So the time management is also a skill throughout the time I have developed, and also I'm trying to improve it to the good level.
Okay, fine. And as I can see in your CV that you have also worked on Indies too. So how do you find out NAV? Like NAV, sorry, NRV. How do you
Uh,
find out NRV? Let's say if you are the auditor of any company and you're valuing stock on 31st March. So how will you find NRV?
So first of all, there can be multiple ways. The first is what is the expected market price on that day. What is the expected price of that particular goods, and we will reduce it. We will reduce any related expenditures, so like selling expenditures or any transaction cost which are required for to perform that transaction. So if there is any cost, then we will reduce it. Then or from that we can calculate the NRV. Or either we can see if there is any transactions occurred in the near future, if we are doing audit, it will definitely after the 31st March or the reporting date. So we can check is either there is any transaction which was happen in the near future, and on the transaction on that amount, on what amount it is occurred. So in that case also we can check also the report issued by the valuer or relating to the stock. Okay, on what basis or what amount he is calculated for the stock, and also check the uh, market value of the product. As if it is an electronic product, then the value of that product will be on the market, and we can easily calculate or know the value of that stock, that product in the market.
Okay, fine. Any questions?
Uh, Sir, as I have read in the job description relating to the details. So I just want to more about the job profile. What will be my profile, and how it will increase and on different areas for me, or how it will or how I can give my input to that. So first of all, I want to know about the job description, job profile, how I will work, and then what a company requires from me.
Okay, blah 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 blah. Any other question?
Uh, no, sir. These are the only questions.
Okay, thank you, Abhishek. We'll get back to you.
Thank you, sir.
हाँ जी. Uh, आप टेक्निकली ठीक हो बट आप कब है यार प्रेजेंटेशन में इशू है सच में. अब उसका रीजन बता देता हूँ मैं आपको. रीजन क्या है? आप दो तीन रीजन है उसके. एक तो रीजन ये है कि आप बहुत जल्दी जवाब देते हो. मतलब क्वेश्चन पूछते ही आप जवाब देते हो. आप पॉज नहीं लेते. आई थिंक आपको 2-3 सेकंड का पॉज लेना चाहिए जवाब देने से पहले. क्योंकि जब आप इमीडिएटली जवाब देते हो तो आपके दिमाग में आंसर आर्टिकुलेट तो होता नहीं है, ड्राफ्टेड नहीं होता। तो जो जैसा आ रहा होता है उसी फॉर्म में आप बता देते हो, आप उसे ऑर्गेनाइज ही नहीं करते हो। सो आई थिंक यू शुड टेक 2-3 seconds बिफोर आंसरिंग, दैट्स माई वन ऑब्जर्वेशन। सेकेंडली, आप बहुत करते हो। ये बहुत निकलता है, वो इसलिए निकलता है क्योंकि अगेन दिमाग में कुछ है नहीं, सोच सोच के बोल रहे हैं। तो इसलिए थोड़ा सा पॉज लेके बोलोगे, या और थोड़ा पेस धीरे करोगे। मतलब आप बहुत तेज बोल देते हो, बहुत जल्दी जल्दी बोलते हो आप। आपको
ओके।
थोड़ा सा धीरे बोलना चाहिए। धीरे मतलब आवाज धीरे नहीं करनी, पेस, बोलने का पेस धीरे करना, धीरे धीरे समझाना। ठीक है, ये प्रैक्टिस से ही आएगा, धीरे धीरे बोलने की कोशिश करना।
ओके सर।
दूसरा रीजन ये है। तीसरा प्रॉब्लम जो मुझे समझ में आई, मैंने लिखे, आपका ही लिख दिया मैंने, इवन चार्ट भी भेज दिया। सो एक प्रॉब्लम और जो मुझे लगी हुई है कि जो चीज सुननी है ना, वो आप बहुत ज्यादा पूछने पे बताते हो, मतलब वो पहले नहीं बताते। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, मैंने कहाँ लिखा था ये, जैसे एक था कि कॉस्ट ऑफ इक्विटी और कॉस्ट ऑफ डेट में क्या ज्यादा महंगा है। तो आपने सही बोला कि लॉन्ग रन में वो महंगा है। आपने वो चीज की भाई कॉस्ट ऑफ डेट पे तो हमें टैक्स बेनिफिट भी मिलता है, वो बहुत
ओके
बाद में
सर।
बोली। ठीक है, मैंने जब आपसे पूछा एनीथिंग एल्स यू कैन थिंक ऑफ, रादर आप ही सोच के बता दो। ठीक है। दूसरा, एक दो जगह और भी था, जैसे नोपैट वर्सेस एबिटा, बहुत बाद में आपने उसे एक्सप्लेन किया। मतलब पहले आप, मतलब मेरे को पूछना पड़ा कि इज एबिटा ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट बिफोर टैक्स, तब आपने थोड़ा थोड़ा जाके एक्सप्लेन करना स्टार्ट किया। तो जो चीज पहले चाहिए ना वो नहीं आती, जो सुननी होती है ना वो नहीं आती, कुछ और चीज आ जाती है पहले। तो आप बिल्कुल पॉइंट टू पॉइंट बात करो, बाकी चीज आप भले बाद में बता दो, लेकिन जो पॉइंट टू पॉइंट आपको याद आ रहा है, इसलिए कह रहा हूँ 1-2 सेकंड का पॉज लोगे तो आधी दिक्कतें तो वैसे खत्म है। और थोड़ा सा धीरे बोलोगे, पेस धीरे करोगे तो भी कम्युनिकेशन वाला प्रॉब्लम तो सुलझ जाएगा। क्योंकि जैसे स्ट्रेंथ के अंदर भी बहुत अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड आंसर हैं आपके। आपके आंसर अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड है, अनऑर्गेनाइज मतलब आंसर तो पूरा है लेकिन उबड़ खाबड़ है, मतलब बना हुआ नहीं है ढंग से। तो वो करने के लिए थोड़ी प्रैक्टिस चाहिए, और धीरे बोलो, आप धीरे बोलो और टाइम लेके बोलो, तो मेरे को लगता है कि सुलझ जाएगी। जहां तक टेक्निकल की बात है, कई बार आप सही समझा देते हो, कई बार आप नहीं समझा पाते, मतलब कई बार आप एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर पाते। जैसे मैं आपको बताऊं कहाँ पे ये हुआ था, यील्ड वर्सेस इंटरेस्ट में। सिंपल था, इसको अगर
ओके।
आप एग्जाम्पल के साथ समझाते तो एक बार में समझ में आती बात सामने वाले को। लेकिन आप उसके थ्योरेटिकल कॉन्सेप्ट पे चले गए, तो इसके ऐसे केसेस के अंदर आप एक बार एग्जाम्पल देके भी समझा दिया करो। ठीक है। एनी क्वेश्चंस, जो लास्ट वाला क्वेश्चन था उसमें भी आपने थोड़ा सा फंबल किया। आप रुक के पूछ लो, कोई जल्दी नहीं है ऐसी। नेट प्रॉफिट इज मोर देन एबिटा, इस दो दो जगह आपने ये भी बोला है कि आई गेट बैक टू यू, या फिर आई चेक, ऐसा कुछ बोला था।
यस सर।
तो ये तो सर, नेट प्रॉफिट और एबिटा, अगर नेट प्रॉफिट ज्यादा है और एबिटा कम है, तो उसका कारण, एक तो आपने सही बोला कि लॉस मेकिंग है तो हो सकता है, लेकिन लॉस मेकिंग में एबिटा नहीं आता एक्चुअली, और नेट प्रॉफिट भी नहीं आता, लॉस आता है। बट वो आप
ओके।
नेगेटिव नेगेटिव कंपेयर कर रहे थे तो शायद सही बोल रहे थे। ये एसेट्स हैं, ऑपरेशंस नहीं है। एसेट्स हैं,
ओके।
ऑपरेशन नहीं है। तो उस केस के अंदर हो सकता है कि यू नो नहीं, उस केस में भी कम ही होगा नेबिट, क्योंकि दोनों के केस में ऐसा ही होगा। आप कैसे बोल रहे थे, आप कह रहे थे कि अगर लॉस मेकिंग है तो उस केस में नेट प्रॉफिट।
सर लॉस मेकिंग है तो अ, हमारा अ, जो टैक्स इफेक्ट होगा, एक तो उससे बच जाएगा, और सेकंड जो हमारे डेप्रिसिएशन वगैरह होंगे तो वो हाँ सर, मेन तो उसके टैक्स इफेक्ट से ही वो पॉजिटिव हो जाएगा।
नहीं यार,
वो
अगर
जो
मेरे
टैक्स
पास अदर इनकम है,
मिटिगेशन
अदर
से वो
इनकम,
पॉजिटिव आ जाएगा।
अगर
ये
अदर
इन
इनकम
दैट।
है,
हाँ यस आई।
अगर अदर
ओके
इनकम है, अदर इनकम, तो नेट प्रॉफिट ज्यादा होगा और एबिटा जो है वो कम होगा। क्योंकि वो नेट
अदर
प्रॉफिट का
इनकम।
पार्ट होता है और एबिटा का नहीं होता, तो नेट प्रॉफिट बढ़ सकता है उस केस में।
ओके
तो
सर।
ये इसका कुछ आंसर था, और बाकी ठीक था, मतलब टेक्निकली ओके है। पढ़ाई तो करी है आपने, ऐसा नहीं कि नहीं करी है। जैसे शेड्यूल 3 में आपको नहीं याद आया, कारो आपको याद नहीं आया, ये दो दो क्वेश्चंस और थे जो आपको याद ही नहीं
ओके
आए।
सर।
और क्या था, फैमिली बिजनेस में आप स्टक हो गए। फैमिली बिजनेस वाले क्वेश्चन में आप स्टक हो गए कि आपने कहा कि जॉइंट फैमिली, आप ये बोल दो कि भाई मेरे सिबलिंग्स भी उसी में ही है, अच्छा, ये सब बोलने से पहले ये बोल सकते हो आप कि मेरा इंक्लिनेशन ही नहीं है सर। मेरा इंक्लिनेशन ही नहीं है बिजनेस में जाने का। मेरे को हमेशा जॉब ही करना है। एल्स मैं अभी ज्वाइन कर चुका होता बिजनेस, अगर मुझे करना होता तो, बट मेरा कोई इंक्लिनेशन नहीं है। सेकेंडली, वो बिजनेस ऑलरेडी एक पार्टनरशिप बिजनेस है with my uncles and my siblings. So joining that, I think I'll not be contributing anything there. So these are few reasons that I don't want to go. तो ये कुछ रीजंस हैं कि मतलब बाकी ठीक था। आपको मैं रिकॉर्डिंग दे रहा हूँ ये, आप भी सुनना एक बार, आपको आपके एनालिसिस क्या है। बाकी जनरली स्पीकिंग, टेक्निकली आप 10 में से साढ़े छः सात वाले हो। थोड़ा ब्रश अप और करो। आईपीसीसी का फाइनेंस, आईपीसीसी वाला एफएम, और कारो शेड्यूल 3 और इंडेस, ये पढ़े हुए ही हैं आपके वैसे तो। एक रीडिंग और बनती है इसमें, ठीक है।
ठीक है सर।
फ्री कैश फ्लो पूछा था मैंने आपसे, फ्री कैश फ्लो क्या है, वो भी आप थोड़ा फंबल करके समझा रहे थे, पूरा ढंग से नहीं समझा पाए। उसमें भी काफी फंबलिंग थी। तो आप फंबल काफी करते हो, तो एक्चुअली होता क्या है, जब आप फंबल करते हो तो सामने वाले का इंटरेस्ट ही चला जाता है, वो उसको समझ, वो कनेक्ट नहीं कर पाता आपके बात से। एक बार में समझा देता है आदमी, तो समझ में आ जाता है। तो इसलिए कह रहा हूँ, थोड़ा सोच के बोलो और धीरे बोलो। एक बार करके देखते हैं। आप कहोगे तो मैं एक राउंड और ले लूंगा बाद में, 2 दिन बाद, अगर आप चाहोगे तो अभी तो मेरा यही एनालिसिस है कि थोड़ा तेज बोल रहे हैं और फंबल कर रहे हैं, और कुछ चीजें थोड़े टेक्निकली और पढ़ लेनी चाहिए। दैट्स माय
ठीक है
एनालिसिस, नथिंग एल्स।
ठीक है सर। मेन तो जो इमीडिएट आंसरिंग है, और जो फंबल जो कर रहा हूँ
आप सुनना ना, मैं अभी
उस
आपको
पे
दे रहा हूँ, आप
ध्यान।
सुनना एक बार, आप सुनना। मैं आपको लिंक दे दूंगा, मैं ड्राइव पे डाल देता हूँ सारे इंटरव्यू एक्सपीरियंसेस। उसका आपका वाला लिंक मैं आपको दे दूंगा, आप सुनना एक बार।
ठीक है सर।
ठीक है जी।
ठीक है सर।
चलो, विश यू ऑल द बेस्ट।
थैंक यू सर।
ओके।
थैंक यू।